You know, in some jobs, a mistake isn't, well, it's not just a mistake. It can be a full-blown catastrophe. So, that begs the question, how do you train for those high-stakes situations where lives are literally on the line without putting anyone in harm's way? Well, today we're going to dive into some tech that's completely changing the game for safety training. It's called the digital twin.
And really, that's the core question, isn't it? For decades, the answer was, well, manuals and some theoretical drills. But let's be real. To truly prepare for a crisis, you need to build that muscle memory. You need to feel the pressure. So the big question is, how do you do that safely? How can you simulate a total disaster and let people practice, and yeah, even fail, all inside a perfectly controlled environment?
All right, so what is this amazing solution? It's called a digital twin. And yeah, I know, it might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but its application is incredibly down to earth. In fact, it's already reshaping how we think about workplace safety.
So at its heart, a digital twin is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a precise, one-to-one virtual copy of a physical space. And I mean precise. We're talking about a whole factory, maybe an oil rig, or a super complex power plant, just recreated down to the very last nut and bolt, all inside a computer. And it doesn't just look the part. It captures all the physics and the real-time operational data of its counterpart in the real world.
Here's the best way to think about it. For decades, right, we've trusted pilots who've trained for the worst. Engine failures, crazy emergency landings, all in these hyper-realistic simulators. A digital twin basically takes that exact same proven idea and applies it to any hazardous workplace. It's a consequence-free practice field for the real world. A perfect sandbox.
Okay, so we've got this perfect digital copy, this awesome virtual sandbox. But how does that actually become a life-saving training tool? How does it create better, safer workers? Let's take a look at how it all works in practice.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole shift. The old way was so passive, right? You'd read a safety manual, maybe watch a video, and just cross your fingers and hope that information sticks when the pressure's really on. The new way? It's all active. It creates this zero-risk reality where you can face an absolute worst-case scenario, make a mistake, learn from it instantly, and then try again. All of that without a single real-world consequence. It's a game changer.
The process itself is actually pretty powerful in its simplicity. It's basically 3 steps. First, you build that perfect, data-rich replica we talked about. Step 2, you put on something like a VR headset which completely immerses the employee in this digital world, and then you introduce a hazard, a simulated fire, a chemical leak, you name it. And third, you let the employees run through the exact safety protocol, testing their response in real time.
And we're talking about practicing for the moments that really matter most. This isn't just some boring drill. This allows teams to build true muscle memory for that day you hope never ever comes. Like handling a critical equipment malfunction on the fly, or containing a really dangerous chemical spill, initiating a full system shutdown under immense pressure, or executing a flawless emergency evacuation when every second counts.
But here's the thing that makes this training truly stick. It's not just about how realistic the simulation is, it's about how the learning itself is structured. And that brings us to the secret sauce, gamification.
And this is exactly why it's so powerful. Think about it. By turning these dry, boring safety protocols into interactive challenges with clear goals, instant feedback, maybe even a score, you're engaging the brain on a completely different level. Suddenly, it's not some tedious drill you have to suffer through. It's a mission you actually want to complete and get right. And the data on this, it's just staggering. When you actually compare learning retention rates, the difference is night and day. We all know that passive learning, like just sitting and listening to a lecture, has notoriously low retention rates. But when you become an active participant in a hands-on, gamified virtual environment, well, your ability to recall and apply that knowledge just skyrockets. You don't just know the protocol, you've actually done it. You've lived it.
So, when you put it all together, what do you get? You get a training system that's deeply immersive, it's fully interactive, and it's been proven to be dramatically more effective. And here's a really key insight. Because every single action is tracked in the simulation, companies can actually analyze that data to find weak points in their own procedures before a real accident ever happens. This is becoming the new gold standard for being proactive about safety, not just reactive.
And really, that's the big shift in thinking here, isn't it? It suggests that the safest workplaces of the future, well, they might not be the ones with the thickest rule books.
They might just be the ones where people have already failed, learned, and completely mastered the worst-case scenario, all in a virtual world that was built just for them to practice in first.